That takes us to 3.42, Sheriff Coroner, report back on Ordinance 884 regulating targeted residential picketing. We do have some speakers on this issue. I don't think the sheriff has any formal report other than to say in his report that they have not had to utilize the ordinance yet, and that may be because the ordinance is in effect that we don't see any residential targeted protesting. So we'll call the speakers up. First speaker is Jay Quevas, followed by Susan Elliott, followed by Tish Argionigo. I can't read your last name, Susan. I'm sorry. Argionigo from San Jacinto. Well, that's for 3.61. 3.42. We have 3 speakers so far: Jay Quevas, Susan Elliott, and Francois Chiquette. I'm sorry, Mr. Quevas.
Hi there. I actually have a presentation.
Okay.
Let me know when it's ready. All right, the video I'm going to be showing you is actually demonstrations from Anonymous, the group known as Anonymous. As you can see, there's going to be a lot of signs, flyers, and people giving out cake. Very, very dangerous. Please be mindful of these actions. As you can see here, peaceful protests, people walking, nothing dangerous. Now, however, when you did bring up this ordinance, you did say that, I wish I had the pamphlet that was given to me by this, I believe, white superiority group that has a problem with one religious group. Now, as you look at me today, do you still believe that? I'm not going to let you answer. I'm going to keep going. I think this ordinance actually is insulting not only to Scientology, supposed to protect, also to your constituents, but also to everybody else. As you can see, on Scientology's human rights laid out by L. Ron Hubbard, number 20 is the right to protest. Actually, it's the right to assembly. The First Amendment prohibits governments from abridging the rights to people to peacefully assemble. Anonymous code, which is founded and is shown in every single video, is always be across the street from your protest, no violence, no weapons, and if you want to do something stupid, do it another day. I'm going to actually walk away now. My video is going to keep going. If you do have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you for coming today, Mr. Cuevas. Our next speaker will be Susan Elliott. Is Susan Elliott here today? Please come forward.
6 months ago, this board passed Ordinance 884, and in his wisdom, Mr. Wilson, and my condolences to his family, but Mr. Wilson suggested that it be revisited in 6 months. What we have learned from the sheriff is that so far this ordinance has not provided anything that the laws already on the books provide. So why was it passed in the first place? Where was the outcry? Mr. Stone, who proposed the ordinance in the first place and initially even attached an urgency to it, no longer says it was for the Church of Scientology and can't seem to point to anyone around here who wants it. In the months during which the ordinance was debated, 2 people spoke in favor of the ordinance: Scientology's lawyer and Scientology's spokesperson. Not a single person outside of the church has spoken in favor of it. Why pass a law that no one seems to want and there is no need for in this county? In fact, several Riverside County residents have voiced strong opposition, including individuals who have protested against child molesters themselves and who are concerned with the suppression of free speech. There seems to be many people against this ordinance and virtually no one for it. Why subject yourselves to needless ordinances whose language is untested in court that could possibly result in expensive litigation? For what? In the meantime, there are abuses occurring in Riverside County which have been reported in the news, including a series on KESQ, in the St. Petersburg Times, on KFI, on documentaries and exposés, and soon at least 1 book and 3 lawsuits alleging illegal labor practices, forced abortions, human trafficking, physical and mental abuse, among other things. These evils are apparently happening in Mr. Stone's district, and people are wondering what the local government is doing about it. Well, the answer appears to be that what they've done is pass a frivolous ordinance to shut people up. Please, now is your chance to repeal this stinker. I urge you, repeal this stinker and wake up to what is really going on in your own backyard. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Elliott. Our next speaker, please don't applause. Please just wave your hands. Please, it'll allow us to get the agenda a lot faster. Francois Chiquette, followed by Lyra Bishop, who will be followed by Julie Waltz.
All right. Thank you for letting me speak. Got several questions, about 15, so we'll see what I can get through here. How much time, money, effort have you all spent on Ordinance 888, 889, including public notices, meeting with Scientologists, meeting with the Council of Scientology, and also when was the first meeting? How close was it after the attack I got at Gold Base? Do Riverside Sheriff officers understand this ordinance? I randomly picked 7 officers, 7 or 8, I think, asked them about 8840, knew nothing about it. What about the CHP? How are they going to know that? Let me show you a picture here. I was about to get arrested here for being just a few feet on the berm on the side here. How come Scientology does not have encroachment permits for the public right-of-way? The title company, planning departments, and all that have no such permits on record. Now, I'm showing you here a map showing the full width of the easement of Highway 79 and all the encroachments that Scientology is doing along that road. There's much more of it, but this is just a single area here. You can see how much space they're taking because the property line is actually the fence back here. You can't see it, but they've added an island in the middle, and it's one of the reasons why this road is so dangerous. Widening this road here to the 100-foot easement was required by the county in 1988, but it only got dedicated in March 2008, 20 years later. Note the complexity of this right-of-way. It's really not obvious. Sometimes the right-of-way is 100 feet from the center of the road. Okay? Sometimes it's 70 feet. I'm saying, I have to repeat here, 100 feet from the center of the road. It's a complex curve. And how do you expect an officer to know that? A property line is invisible. Your ordinance is unenforceable. What is the purpose of that island in the middle? The state calls it a non-standard shoulder. We know what the purpose is. That island was set up specifically to prevent protesters from having a place to walk. We heard that from people inside the cult that have since left. Now, this wonderful church here, oh, here's a lovely accident. Picture we got courtesy of Scientology. And this car flipped over because he hit that berm in the middle. What's the purpose, this church, so-called church, uses water sprinklers to endanger protesters in car traffic. That day it wasn't raining, but the asphalt's all wet. When will the sheriff cite this church for such illegal activity? You can see here that they have all these sprinklers on the side. There's no plants here, but the sprinklers are aimed there's 360-degree sprinklers to make sure that the road gets wet and the protesters get all wet. That makes it kind of fun, but imagine the dangers of this. There's another picture of this. Okay. Now, on many occasions, this church has used very loud, up to 115 decibels to drown out protesters.
Could you please wrap it up because your
Sure.
3 minutes is up?
Okay, that's fine. Let me show you this picture. Can we go there and cut the bushes on this land? It's very dangerous for fire here. This is public land. The people are stuck inside.
Your time is up, sir.
My time's up. Thank you. All right.
Okay, the next speaker is Lyra Bishop.